Hey y'all, Nick here, and I know I haven't made a video in quite a while. A lot of the stuff that we've been learning isn't necessarily like video um, work, but I wanted to get one last video in to kind of walk you through the final steps of the class and the final weeks of the class. Really all that's left is your final. And your final is going to be a paper called a theory review and analysis, and I'm going to walk you through it. I also want to walk you through the template that I made for you to use for this. I'll tell you about the optional Dropbox as well as the final paper submission Dropbox. So these are the 4 items I want to cover with you, and I want you to let me know if you have any questions by sending me a message in the chat here if you need to. So what is your final? Well, you can click this document and it will give you the written explanation of your final, but I'm not going to read word for word. Throughout this course, we've really covered 8 different learning theories. And the 8 different learning theories are not perfect. They're all theories. They're not laws. And they're suggestions about how people learn best. Some people, like Vygotsky, for example, would say that learning is entirely social. There's not like a mechanism or a process for learning. Learning is social. You learn because of other people. Versus like information processing theory goes, well, there's actually a biological reason for learning, and it actually has very little to do with the people involved. Bandura kind of tries to tie it all together. He says learning happens when we have the right inputs when it comes to personality, environment, and behavior, and that can lead to learning, using this kind of threefold theory that he developed, and so forth, right? So we've gone through each of these 8 theories throughout the course, and if you are unsure, you can go back in the course and review them. Erickson's 8 stages. We got Vygotsky here and Vygotsky notes. You don't even have to take notes. You can just rewatch the video. We've got the Piaget stuff right here. Piaget notes. Oh, right there. Sorry. Copies of the notes here. We've got also information processing theory and a video there, some slideshows, some notes. Engagement theory. I suppose engagement theory probably ought to be here. Maybe I'll actually add that. I'm sorry. I should have engagement theory as well. So I guess there's 9 theories. Neurons and the neurology of learning was a thing we did. And then we got into Bandura, triadic reciprocal causation. You can go back into Moodle and review each one of those. But what you're going to do is eventually you're going to pick 3 of them to do this paper on. You're going to pick which one was the most valuable and why. And you're going to give examples and you're going to explain it very relevantly, very practically. How could you use that theory in your life? Then, which one's the least valuable and why? Explain where a theory could have gone wrong. Explain where a theory isn't useful. And then you're going to do one more that you get to write anything you want about. Maybe it's the one that you want to explain, but you want to learn more about it. Maybe it's one that really frustrated you. Maybe it's one that you thought was the most helpful, but you didn't pick it up here because you didn't see it playing out for a certain reason. But you'll do 3 total theories that you're going to review and you're going to provide an analysis of. And you're going to say, I really like information processing theory because, and I really didn't like Vygotsky's sociocultural theory because. But I also want to talk about self-regulated learning theory. I think it's a great idea, but it's hard to see practically. Something like that, right? And you're going to turn it into a paper. And a long paper, might I add. This is not going to be a short paper. But I made a template for you to make the paper easier so you don't have to worry about formatting. But you're going to end up with about a 2,000-word paper. It's big, y'all. That's not an easy paper to write. But what I'm looking for is an introduction of 250 words. A conclusion of 250 words, and then 500 words about each of the 3 learning theories. So that adds up to 2,000. And I want to see insightfulness. I want to see practicality. and I want to see what really works for learning, what does not, according to you. It's formal, but you're allowed to use I, and you can write with a little bit of an informal tone. You can say, during this course, I thought blank, da 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 da. I really appreciated blank. I did not like blank, right? You can use some informal tone, but it will be a formal essay structurally. So to help you with that structure, I have a Word document here. If you need something other than a Word document, please let me know. I can give you this file in other forms, but this template is a color-coded writing template. And let me walk you through it. It's actually meant to make your life easier. Maybe you're like, oh my goodness, Nick, this is not easy. But I used one of these when I was getting my master's degree to write it was huge. It was like a 250 word essay that I wrote using this same color-coded template, and I really liked it. So use this color-coded template to write your APA format paper. Make sure to delete all of the colored text when done. So anything that's blue and anything that's red will eventually either be replaced or deleted, okay? By the end of this paper, all you'll have is your black text, and it'll look just like normal paper. But red text is a placeholder. Title of assignment. It's a placeholder. You would go here, you'd go the 3 theories of learning. And there, you wrote your title, change it to the correct color text. Oops. Done. It was just a placeholder. All along, that's all it was doing, was being a placeholder. Student name. I'll use one of your names. I'll just use mine. Nick Stavellino. You'd put your name there, right? Department of This is already black. You don't need to edit this. You don't need to touch this. This is just fine. Department of Education, Dawson Community College, EDU 222, Education Psychology, Professor Nick Stavellino, May 7th, 2024 is your due date. Just leave it. Okay? Come down here. The red is a placeholder. You're going to match the title of the assignment, 3 Theories of Learning. You can title it whatever you want. I'm just using the example 3 Theories of Learning just as an example. And then the blue, I'm walking you through what your paragraph should be like. Begin your introduction here. Your paragraph should all have an indent at the start of them, like you can see here. Your introduction does not have to be long. Simply explain the assignment. Mention that you've learned many different theories and that you believe some are strong while others are not. You can write in first person. This introduction could be around 250 words, but a bit longer and a bit shorter is also fine. Yeah, easy peasy. You will delete this. The blue will get deleted, and then eventually, so I'm going to delete it, then I'm going to, oopsies, let me delete it without losing my cursor. There. So then I'm going to make my text black, and I'm going to start writing my introduction. In the course, Education Psychology, I reviewed 8 different learning theories that try to answer the question of how do we best educate large amounts of people? Question mark. Continue on. You write an introduction. I don't doubt any of your writing abilities, so write an introduction. I know you can do it. I'm not going to go through every single detail and every single this sentence, and just write an introduction. Tell me what you're going to tell me about. Oops, why did I do a question mark? Oh, because I used the word question. Whoops. 3 of the theories that we studied are blank, blank, and blank. I found Bandura's triadic reciprocal, we'll just call it triadic theory. That's what it's actually typically called. Triadic theory to be the most helpful while I thought that Vygotsky's theories were ill-founded and not helpful. Something along those lines, right? I'm just typing what the assignment is and what I'm particularly interested in talking about. Word count, don't overthink it. I'm not going to be counting your words. I'm not trying to be word count man. But okay, I've done a little bit of a paragraph. I would not be done yet. I'm at 55 words is all. If I end up at 125 words, great, so be it. I'm not going to force it, right? So this is just an example. Then you get to your theory 1. The red is a placeholder. I'll make it black. I'll delete it. Oops, I keep doing that. Well, this isn't as easy as it looks. Bandura's triadic reciprocal causation theory. There's my heading. Boom. Tell you why I like it. Give a summary. Explain how it's useful. Explain how it's practical. Explain how this could be something that in real life you utilize. Explain what stood out to you the most about it. The summary should be about 250 words and the explanation about 250 words, so the whole thing ends up being about 500 words. Then you go to your next one. This is the theory you don't like. This is the theory that you're bringing up and discussing. And then a conclusion. I just gave you your title. Final thoughts is always a good conclusion. Write your conclusion here. I'm not requiring references, so I'm not going to require a references page. But if you do use a reference, make sure you do a references page for it and cite it properly. Okay? So that's how you use this template to write. And at the very end, you got to make sure there's nothing in blue, there's nothing in red. It's just regular text at the end. But you will, if you use this correctly, you'll have a really well formatted paper. It'll be beautiful. Like this will be master's degree level writing and when it comes to the format and style. So just follow along, okay? And I'm here to help along the way. I hope you guys know that at this point, but I'm here to help along the way. So I gave you an optional Dropbox. You can submit things to here. You can submit as many things as you want to here. It's technically worth 1 point. It's not meant to impact your grade at all, but it's worth 1 point if you submit something here and send me a comment or a note up here. I'll go look at it. I'll grade it. I'll give you feedback. I'll help you out. And then that way we can work together on this assignment. So you can upload 2-3 different times if you want to this Dropbox. So that's just for rough drafts. And then finally, at the very end, once you're done, you will submit it right here. EDU 222 final learning theory review paper. And that's how you go about it. So I hope I've answered all your questions, but I know you might have some. Please send me a note if you have any feedback, or talk to Mr. Humphreys about it, and he can email me, whatever works for y'all. But 3 weeks left is all. That's crazy. And I'm here to help you along the way as you need. So please let me know if you need a hand, y'all. Cheers.